Hi, my name is Marco. I've left my life behind to travel the world with my camera to document the most interesting stories I will meet along the path. My first trip will lead me from Peru all the way to Patagonia, across Bolivia, Argentina and Chile. The journey is awaiting. Will you follow me along the path? The town of Uyuni looks like a place stuck in time. All around the city, all locomotive parts left as monuments remind the past of this town, originally developed around the nowadays abandoned railway station. Everyone is here for the salt flat, but even getting lost in its central market is part of the experience. Women dressed in traditional clothes invite you to eat with a nice perfume coming from their food stands. And it's finally time to start our 3 days adventure in one of the most unique places on the planet. But before getting to the salt flat, the first stop of the tour is a very peculiar place. It's called Train Cemetery, due to the presence of all locomotives abandoned in the middle of the desert. Indeed, Uyuni was the rail yard to connect Bolivia with the city of Antofagasta on the Pacific coast, that, during the 19th century, before the war with Chile, was part of Bolivia.
It really looks like being in a far west scenery. We are in the middle of the desert. There's full of people and everybody's trying to get the most Instagrammable kind of photo.
Time to continue our trip, destination Salar de Uyuni. Every tour stops in the town of Colciani at the very borders of the salt flat, where you can visit salt production factories to understand a little bit of the manufacturing process. From the bigger grains, they grind it to obtain the fine salt we are used to see, that is then processed before being packed to be sold. And without further ado, the time of the Salar de Uyuni has finally come. The brown of the desert, little by little, becomes more and more white.
So we made it, guys. We are in Salar de Uyuni. Look at that. Wow.
The first stop inside the salt flat is called Ojos de Sal, due to the presence of natural pools where underwater gases comes to surface.
It is not hot, as someone would expect from gas coming from the soil. So we are now in front of a particular monument because here for 3 years consecutively the Dakar race has been held.
One of the most iconic attractions of the salt flat is the Flag Square.
Jesus Christ, how many people are in there?
And now time to get out of the chaos and drive into the absolute nowhere of the salt flat.
So right now we are in the middle of literally nowhere because there are no tourists close to us. We are literally, I can see no cars. The Salar de Uyuni is way bigger than I thought. It's 12,000 square kilometers approximately, and we are at an altitude of 3,700 meters, something like that. So it's super hot, the sun is very, very strong, you have to take care. I've put a lot of sun cream, but yeah. Let's take some seconds of silence to appreciate all of that.
We came back to the car and drove for hours to reach our next destination.
So we reached Isla Incahuasi.
Like an atoll in the vastity of the ocean, this rock formation rises as an island to disrupt the endless white plain of the Salar.
Some of those cactus are actually very big. This is one should be over, it's like 4 meters, something like that.
Slowly this day is coming to an end, so we stopped again to admire the sunset. And what's better than watching the sunset in the biggest salt flat in the world with some nice wine? A new day begins. We left the salt flat, continuing our trip towards the Chilean border. On the horizon appears the massive Guayaquez volcano.
We've been driving for almost 2 hours. Now we are gonna stop, have the viewpoint to the volcano.
And after a llama burger, it's time to get back to the road to reach the plateau.
We are like more than 4,000 meters now, and we reached the first lagoon, guys. Look who's there. Wow, what a beautiful view. This is only the first of the 3 lagoons that we will see. The climate changed drastically from yesterday. The sun was really strong. Like, I had to use a ton of sun cream not to get burnt. And we're like, I guess 25 degrees or even 30. It was like very, very hot. While now it's very cold. I have a poncho, but I'm cold. It's snowing.
We also met a group of vicuñas on the way. This panorama really made me redefine my beauty standards. Gradually, even the little pampa shrubs disappear and we're left with nothing but sand. This cute fella is a vizcacha.
Another stop. There's now a ton of wind. I don't know if the audio will get probably fucked up, but we stopped to see this natural rock formation. Basically, it seems growing from nowhere.
Time to visit the Red Lagoon of the Avaroa National Park.
Go!
The name comes from a type of algae that gives to the water its characteristic color.
The wind, guys, is super strong. Like, it's almost like tough to maintain a straight line. The wind is literally pushing me. It's crazy. It feels like another planet. I'm not telling it for YouTube. Surrounded by flamingos on a red lagoon over a panorama that looks like from a National Geographic movie. Vaffanculo? Vaffanculo? Salute. Vaffanculo.
Salud.
Salud.
Another sunrise, another time driving on our way to Chile.
First stop of the morning, the geyser. The guy was telling us that these are sulfurous gases and you cannot stay more than 50 minutes or it became harmful for your health. We can walk through the geysers. Of course, there are these line of rocks you cannot overcome. And it has this, of course, this smell. Wow. Wow, it's very strong. Right, rotten eggs. Whew.
There's something magical about this place. The smoke coming out from the ground seems like the earth exhaling. And it's now time to chill a bit on the natural thermal waters with this incredible panorama. My time in Bolivia has finally come to an end, and honestly, I couldn't have thought of a better farewell.